Hi, I'm Jamie Baker, Sports Editor of the Courier, here with Scott Cottos, Andy Wolf, here for another edition of the Review Times Chalk Talk, and we're talking Week 1, season openers. Fostoria, well, first let's start out with St. Wendland. St. Wendland doesn't have a team anymore, so we'll be talking about some other teams this year a little bit more. Fostoria opens up with Oak Harbor. Scott's talked to Derek Kidwell, and what's he probably thinking heading in?
They could have a pretty good football team, he says. They have a lot of kids who have played a lot of football. Not necessarily senior experience. There are 10 seniors. But the middle two grades, 10 and 11, there are a lot of kids who have played a lot of games because they were forced into games early.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good experience or a bad experience, but it's experience. So they know what to do on the football field. It's a matter of wanting to do it and doing it properly. And he thinks if those things come together, they could have a pretty good season.
Well, hopefully they can get things turned around, and it'd be nice to start the season with a win on the right foot and get ready for league play in a few more weeks and start out on a winning note. Andy will be at Calvert for Calvert Hopewell Loudon.
Yeah, and Coach Caltrillo has made it no secret he wants to get this team back to the playoffs. A traditional program that you could almost pencil in every year to make the playoffs. And back when they were in the MAL days, and now that the MAL is disbanded, they've kept their rivalry with Calvert going as a season opener. Hopewell has dropped 4 of the last 5 to Calvert, so they're going to be wanting to itch and return the favor last year. A lot of skill pieces returning on either side. I've got Calvert with 10 starters back on defense on a unit that allows 16 points a game. Hopewell's also got this probably the offensive weaponry, I think, to hang with Calvert's defense, so it should be a pretty exciting game.
We should also be noted that a few of the St. Wendland kids that played football last year are playing for Calvert this year, so that should be interesting for those kids being in a different program and a different culture, so maybe they'll be able to flourish a little bit more. A couple of other games on the schedule, Arcadia and Hardin Northern. That should be a pretty good matchup between teams really hungry for a win since Arcadia went 0-10 last year. Carey's at Van Buren. That's a resumption of a rivalry a few years back. They'll meet in Week 1 the next 2 weeks, so that should be an interesting game. A couple of new coaches, John Mershman at Carey, J.T. Bates at Van Buren. Should be interesting to watch. Another new coach at Elmwood is Elmwood hosts Gibsonburg. And another new coach at Lakota, Mike Lento, as Lakota travels to Lake for their opener. It'll be interesting to see what happens in this Week 1, and we'll be talking about it throughout the season. So that'll wrap up Week 1 of the Review Times Chalk Talk. You can get all the information on all the area games and Saturday mornings Review Times.